Chapter 221. Was rather good-looking Master Xinyuan choked and had no choice but to take out a bracelet from his storage ring. This is a phoenix-patterned enshrouding bracelet. It's a high-grade spirit tool that will automatically protect its master when it encounters a spirit energy attack. Before Master Xinyuan could finish speaking, Yun Chujio snatched the bracelet away. "Thank you, Master Xinyuan. Aren't bracelets always a pair? Give me that one too. Otherwise, how pitiful would it be if there's only one?" Master Xuanyuan's face stiffened. "I only have this one. All right. If there's none, then there's none. I'm not that greedy a person. Peak Master Yu, something happened to me on Middle Peak. Don't you have something to show for it?" Yun Chujio stretched out her small claws pitifully. Peak Master Yu was originally watching Master Xuanyuan's excitement with interest, but he did not expect Yun Chujio to make such a scene, so he could only laugh dryly. He took out a white jade hairpin from his storage ring and handed it to Yun Chujio. This is the exquisite cold jade hairpin. It's also a high-grade spirit tool that can automatically activate when it encounters a spirit attack. Yun Chujio's hair was shoulder-length now, so she happily stuck the hairpin into her hair bun. After thanking him, she hopped away. Master Xinyuan and Master Yufeng looked at each other. For some reason, they felt that Yun Chujio really had a high chance of getting into the top 10 in the disciple test. It was not that she had much strength, but her ability to climb up ranks was truly unrivaled. The two of them felt an incomparable pain in their hearts. That was a high-grade spirit weapon. Plus, it was a high-grade spirit weapon that could activate itself. That was a life-saving weapon. Even if it was a true disciple, they would not be willing to give it away. Yun Chujio did not care whether they felt pain in their hearts or not. Seeing that it was getting late, she immediately returned to the dormitory. After all, there was Manager Gao keeping an eye on the spirit herb garden. As for the aging pill, Yun Chujio did not take it to heart. It had long been nibbled away by that strange grass. Yun Chujio was a little worried that Elder Qi would go crazy the next day when he returned. However, she had a big heart and was only worried for a while before forgetting about it. Instead, she took out the jade pendant that Di Baiming had given her and looked at it. Seeing that there was a tiny crack on it, she felt a little pained. This time, it was all thanks to the gigolo's jade pendant. Otherwise, she would really have died. Speaking of which, it had been a long time since she had contacted the gigolo. She did not know if the voice transmission talisman would work. Perhaps I should try it out. Yun Chujio took out a voice transmission talisman and followed the method that Di Baiming had taught her. She sent her divine sense into it. Cough. "Prince Charming, I haven't seen you for a few days. Do you miss me, Yun Chujio, who is as beautiful as a flower? I have something to tell you. Today, two people came to the spirit herb garden. One of them was dressed in red, and the other one was in black. The one dressed in red was quite good-looking, but it's a pity that he's a pervert. My Prince Charming, the jade pendant you gave me has a tiny crack on it. You won't blame me, right?" Yun Chujio told him everything, then withdrew her spiritual sense and held her chin as she waited for Di Baiming's reply. The miserable Di Baiming did not tell Yun Chujio that there was a time limit to the voice transmission talisman recording. Yun Chujio's words were coincidentally stuck at, the one in red was pretty good-looking, the rest of her words were not recorded at all. Di Baiming had been holding back from contacting Yun Chujio. Finally, he realized that the voice transmission talisman in his storage ring was trembling. He was so excited that his palms were sweating. He sent his divine sense into it while trembling slightly, then he heard, cough. "Prince Charming, I haven't seen you for a few days. Do you miss me, Yun Chujio, who is as beautiful as a flower? I have something to tell you. Today, two men came to the spirit herb garden. One of them was dressed in red while the other was in black. The one in red was pretty good-looking." Chapter 222. Black Thing, I won't forgive you. When the poor Supreme Emperor heard the words, beautiful as a flower, he was in a good mood and amused. This black thing was still as thick-skinned as ever. However, when he heard the last part, he lost his composure. What? A man in red? She even praised him for being good-looking? It was reversed. It was really reversed. The black thing had forgotten what she had told him. Di Baiming was so angry that he almost crushed the voice transmission talisman. Di Baiming took out the voice transmission talisman and said angrily, "Black thing. Just you wait. I won't let you off." Yun Chujio noticed that the voice transmission talisman was trembling, and she sent her spiritual sense into it anxiously. Then she heard Di Baiming gnashing his teeth. She was stunned at first, and then she was also angry. She angrily put away the voice transmission talisman. "What the hell? You gave me the jade pendant, and you can't spare me even after it was cracked. To think that I wanted to thank you properly. Gigolo, you're so petty. You're so annoying. It's best if you never appear in front of me again. I can get rid of that strange grass by myself." Yun Chujio cursed the gigolo a few hundred times before she started to cultivate again. Di Baiming thought that Yun Chujio would use the other voice transmission talismans to explain to him, but there was still no developments in the middle of the night. He was so angry that he was spinning in circles. Unfortunately, he could not leave then. Otherwise, he would definitely teach the black thing a good lesson. Di Baiming took out Enfeng's voice transmission talisman. "Keep a close eye on the black thing. If anything happens, I won't let you off." Enfeng was afraid of being discovered by the mighty figures of the Spirit Radiance sect. Moreover, he reckoned that there would not be any danger within the sect. Therefore, after Yun Chujio entered the pill refining room, he only stayed outside to observe the movements at all times. He only vaguely heard that someone had barged into the Spirit Herb Garden. After hearing Di Baiming's message, he thought that Yun Chujio had told His Excellency everything, so he replied, "Your Excellency, I'll guard it to the death. Don't worry." When Di Baiming heard that, he confirmed the fact that Yun Chujio had hooked up with the man in red. He was so angry that he did not sleep. He began to spar with the secret guards. The guards were so depressed that they almost vomited blood. How was this sparring? This was simply a one-sided beating. Which blind person had offended His Excellency? The next day, Yun Chujio went to Elder Chi's courtyard anxiously. When Elder Chi heard about this matter when he returned this morning, he did not blame Yun Chujio. After all, the other party had come prepared, so he could only sigh at his bad luck. Sigh. This old man originally needed this golden thread grass fruit to refine a 7th grade spirit replenishing pill to repair my spiritual sense. It seems like there's no hope. I can't help it if my luck isn't good. Elder Chi, is this golden thread grass the only one we have here? Yun Chujio was a person who liked to be coaxed, but not forced. Seeing Elder Chi like this, she felt a little guilty. If only I had put the fruit into the jade box earlier, then it wouldn't have been stolen by that red-clothed pervert. Elder Chi sighed. The place where this golden thread grass grows is very secretive. This one was obtained by chance when I went out for training. Then can it bear fruit again? Of course it can. However, they bloom once every 100 years, bears fruit once every 100 years, and ripens once every 100 years. I probably won't be able to wait until then. Elder Chi sighed repeatedly and entered the house dejectedly. Yun Chujio entered the spirit herb garden with her head drooped. Looking at the bare branches of the golden thread grass, she muttered, "Sigh, could it be that I can only wait for another 300 years? If only there was a way to speed up the ripening process." Chapter 223. I am a male bird. Just as Yun Chujio was mumbling to herself, the strange grass in her dantian started to become restless. Yun Chujio had no choice but to take a look inside, only to see that it was trembling non-stop, as if it was having cramps. Yun Chujio was delighted. Could it be that this strange grass was about to choke? That would be great. It shook for a while, and then a drop of crystal clear liquid seeped out from one of the leaves. Yun Chujio subconsciously reached out her hand, and that drop of liquid magically appeared in Yun Chujio's palm. Little Black kept shouting in the spiritual beast bag, "It smells so good. It smells so good. Master, what's that smell? It smells really good, just like the smell on your body." Yun Chujio was stunned. The grass kept urging Yun Chujio with its consciousness, and Yun Chujio dripped the crystal clear liquid on the golden thread grass, although she did not understand why. Then Yun Chujio was surprised to find that the golden thread grass was changing at great speeds visible to the naked eye. 15 minutes later, the flower bloomed, and another 15 minutes later, the fruit slowly turned from red to purple. Yun Chujio quickly took out the jade box that Elder Chi gave her yesterday and put the fruit away. Yun Chujio's heart pounded violently. She seemed to have discovered something amazing. The liquid secreted by the strange grass could actually accelerate the ripening of the herb. The effect was so astonishing. It only took less than 2 hours to accelerate the ripening of a 300-year-old herb. Moreover, it was an earth-grade high-grade herb. Oh my God! She needed to calm down. She felt a little uncomfortable with such an earth-shattering revelation. She needed to be quiet. This matter was too heaven-defying. She must not let anyone find out. Otherwise, it would be a crime to possess such treasure. It would be terrible if someone coveted it. Yun Chujio was stunned for a moment before she began to deal with the aftermath. She carefully broke off the newly grown twig of the golden thread grass, also known as witch hazel grass, and put it into her storage ring so that Elder Chi would not discover it. As for the fruit in her hand, she could not hand it over to Elder Chi right now. Otherwise, Elder Chi would think that she had caught the thief and had stolen it herself. When I find a suitable opportunity, I will find an excuse to give this fruit to him. At that moment, the strange grass in her dantian started to clamor for food. Seeing that there was no one around, Yun Chujio took out a bunch of super-grade blood coagulation pills and swallowed them. After the grass quickly finished eating, it continued to clamor for food. Yun Chujio swallowed several hundred pills in a row, and it finally calmed down. Yun Chujio could not help but complain. Indeed, there was no free lunch in the world. Although the weird grass secretion was heaven-defying, it was probably formed from the medicinal efficacy of these pills. Its consumption of them was really shocking, and she was almost running out of them already. Yun Chujio once again began to gather resources. She gathered a lot of medicinal herbs and put them into her storage ring. Now, she only needed the east wind of the 5th level of spirit enhancement. Little Black grumbled unhappily in the spirit beast bag. "Master, you still haven't told me what it was that smelled so good just now? Did you secretly eat something good?" Yun Chujio explained with some amusement. "Am I such a tasteless master? It was a drop of liquid secreted by the strange grass in my dantian. It catalyzed the golden thread grass to ripen." "Master, you're so ungrateful. Why didn't you leave half a drop for me? That liquid must be good. I was so hungry that I couldn't stop salivating." Yun Chujio pouted. "Forget it, I don't think it's that good. Something that can accelerate the ripening of medicinal herbs is similar to the aging pill. If you eat it, you might give birth to another black bird." "You're so bad. I'm a male bird. A male bird. A male bird." Little Black protested in grief and indignation. Chapter 224. Bullying our Yun family members is courting death. Yun Chujio and Little Black laughed for a while and continued to collect more herbs. If not for this fellow's fear of being discovered by Elder Chi, she would have moved the entire spirit herb garden into her storage ring long ago. From that day onward, Yun Chujio made use of all the time available to refine the lightning energy released by the strange grass. She faintly felt that she was about to reach the threshold of a breakthrough. That morning, Yun Chujio was about to go to the spirit herb garden from the pill refining room when she heard a few outer sect disciples discussing among themselves. "Have you heard? The people from the Heavenly Gates sect are here." "Of course I've heard about that huge gathering. I've heard that there are a few pretty female disciples. Especially one called Su Yenran. She's so pretty and charming. The Heavenly Gates sect and our Spirit Radiance sect have always been at odds with each other. What are they here for this time? There's not much time left before the Big Four sects' 30-year competition. They're probably here to test the waters. Visit. Our sect leader isn't stupid. Why would he reveal his true strength? He's probably just going through the motions. It's hard to say. After all, it's a matter of face. However, if the competition is also between the successor disciples and inner sect disciples, we only need to watch the show and the beauties." Yun Chujio's heart moved. Su Yenran? Could it be the Su Yenran she knew? Was she not in the Drifting Cloud sect? How did she end up in one of the 4 great sects, the Heavenly Gate sect? Perhaps it was someone with the same name. Yun Chujio did not take it to heart. She stopped for a moment and continued to hop toward the spirit herb garden. One evening 2 days later, when Yun Chujio passed by Yun Chua's courtyard, she heard a faint voice inside and knocked on the door. She saw Yun Chuki's face full of indignation. This is too much. That Heaven Gate sect is really too much. That's right. They don't have any sense of decency as guests at all. They're really shameless. Ching Si echoed from the side. Yun Chujio asked curiously, "What's going on? What's wrong with the guests from Heaven Gate sect?" "Little Jio, you don't know about this yet. The Heaven Gate sect sent people here, yes? According to the rules, it's our Middle Peaks Big Kitchen's turn to serve the attendant disciples meals this time." The people from the Heaven Gate sect were all shouting rudely. "They're so arrogant. They said that Spirit Radiance sect's meals aren't good, and that we must follow their recipes. They were being so picky even after they were done. It's like picking on the bones in an egg. Alas, they're guests from far away, so we couldn't say anything and could only endure it. It's too much." Yun Chuki said angrily. Yun Chujio nodded. "It's quite infuriating. But it doesn't have to make you so angry, seventh sister. Is there anything else you want to say?" When 2 male disciples came to get their meals, they saw that fifth sister and seventh sister were pretty, so they started to get physical with them. Fortunately, Elder Huang and the others got rid of them. Ching Si saw that Yun Chu and Yun Chuki looked troubled and took the initiative to speak. "What? They actually bullied members of the Yun family. They're really tired of living, aren't they? I want go to Elder Chi's place tomorrow. I want to see who doesn't care about their lives so much that they dare bully Yun family members." Yun Chujio said angrily. Yun Chu sighed. "Forget it. With Elder Huang and the others, we won't be at a disadvantage. Besides, we'll rest tomorrow and avoid them." Yun Chujio rolled her eyes. "Just rest as you usually would. I haven't gone to work for a long time, and I just happened to miss Elder Huang and the others. They'll go to work tomorrow." How could Yun Chu be at ease? After trying to persuade her for a while, she still could not dispel Yun Chujio's thoughts and could only say, "Since that's the case, then we'll all go to work. Little Jio, let's make a deal first. You can't cause trouble. They're Spirit Radiance sect's guests. If you offend them, the sect leader will definitely punish you. Fifth sister, don't worry. If they don't provoke me, I definitely won't take the initiative to provoke them." Yun Chujio secretly added in her heart, "I would only beat them until their teeth were all over the ground." Chapter 225. You think you're great just because you act almighty? The next day, Yun Chujio freshed up swiftly and went to the big kitchen. Everyone had not seen Yun Chujio for a long time and greeted her warmly one by one. Yun Chujio started chatting with everyone with a smile on her face. Everyone's words were filled with dissatisfaction toward the guests from Heavenly Gate sect. However, as they were guests, and one from the 4 great sects too, they naturally did not dare to offend them and could only swallow their anger. Yun Chujio only listened with a smile and did not speak. Soon, breakfast was ready. Some servants and outer sect disciples came to eat breakfast. The dining hall was exceptionally lively. At that moment, a male voice shouted, "Hey! Get the 2 junior sisters from yesterday come with us. Our elder said that the food yesterday was not bad and wants to reward you." A male disciple with a hooked nose stood beside the male with a duck-like voice. He was also wearing Heavenly Gate's sect's outer disciple uniform. He smiled wretchedly at the side and said, "That's right. Our elder is generous. Hurry up and get the 2 junior sisters come with us." Elder Huang frowned and then squeezed out a smile to welcome them. "Senior brothers, I'm the manager of Middle Peaks Big Kitchen. I'll go with you." Our elder specifically asked for those 2 junior sisters to go. Is this how Spirit Radiance sect treats their guests? You really don't have us in your eyes. Good. Since we can't invite them, well, bid farewell to your sect master. The male duck voice said arrogantly. The people dining and servants in the big kitchen were all furious. The guests from Heavenly Gate's sect was too arrogant. This is Spirit Radiance sect's territory and they actually dared to act so arrogantly. They really deserve to be beaten up. However, they were using their sect's name as protection, and they were also guests. If they really offended him, the higher-ups would probably blame them. Therefore, although everyone was dissatisfied, no one made a sound. Elder Huang laughed dryly. It's really unfortunate that those 2 female servants are off duty today and didn't come to work. It's better for me to go. Don't you fucking understand human language? What are you, an old tree bark, going to do? Do our elders need to see your old face? Cut the crap and quickly find those 2 junior sisters. Otherwise, I'll throw away these meals right now. I'll say that you've neglected your guests from the Heavenly Gate sect. The male with a duck-like voice cursed. Fuck off if you're not going to eat. You're actually putting on an act in our Spirit Radiance sect. Do you think you're great just because you act almighty? Yun Chujio poured a basin of swill directly onto the male with the duck-like voice and the hawk-nosed man. The man with the duck's voice and the hawk-nosed man were stunned at first. Obviously, they were not used to Yun Chujio's way of attacking people at the slightest disagreement. Then, they flew into a rage. Where did this stupid girl come from? You're simply courting death. My surname is Great, and my name is Ant. If you have the ability, you can scold me. Yun Chujio threw the basin on the ground. She was as arrogant as she could be. Okay, Great Ant. I won't let you off today. After the guy with a duck voice was done speaking, he knew that he had been tricked. Yun Chujio giggled. Son, you still dare to disobey me even though you know that I'm your great aunt. How unfilial. Stinky girl, you took advantage of me. I'll slap you to death. The male duck voice rushed toward Yun Chujio. Yun Chujio jumped into the dining crowd. Senior brothers and sisters, what are you still looking at? Beat him up for me. If there's anything, just blame it on me. Don't tell me you're just going to let these 2 stupid pigs run around in our Spirit Radiance sect's territory? The people of Spirit Radiance sect had been holding back their anger for a long time, but they were afraid that the higher-ups would blame them, so they did not dare make a move. Now that they heard Yun Chujio's words, the crowd immediately became excited. That's right. What's the point of Heavenly Gate's sect sending so many people here? They're always pretending to be weak. Beat him up. Beat them to death. I've been displeased with them for a long time. That's right. Pretentious bastard. Beat him up. Chapter 226. It is better to have fun together than alone. The man with the croaky voice and the man with a hooked nose cried for their mother and father after being beaten up. They shouted, "Just you wait. None of you will live." Yun Chujio went back to the kitchen and took a kitchen knife. Then, she jumped behind the crowd and shouted, "You're still so stubborn. Continue to beat them up. When you beg for mercy and admit your mistake, only then will they stop." Finally, the 2 of them could not hold on anymore. "Stop. Great Aunt, we were wrong. Quickly make them stop." Yun Chujio curled her lips. "Restrain them, I want them to draw their names." The crowd surrounded the 2 of them in the middle. Their hands and feet were tied with ropes. Even if they wanted to run, they could not. Yun Chujio stepped forward and kicked the 2 of them. "But why aren't you acting? You really want to behave so atrociously in our Spirit Radiance sect? Have you asked your senior brothers and sisters to come here? Hand over all your valuable things. Otherwise, I'll cut off your ears." The man with the croaky voice and the hooked nose looked at the kitchen knife in Yun Chujio's hand shining in a cold gleam. Then, they thought of the smelly girl's actions previously. They did not doubt her ruthlessness at all. With a sad face, they poured out the spirit stones and some medicinal pills from their storage bags. "That's all? Do you not want the left ear or the right ear?" Yun Chujio held the kitchen knife and gestured in front of the 2 of them. The 2 of them had no choice but to pour out all their valuables from their storage bags. "We really don't have any more this time." Yun Chujio smiled sinisterly and raised the kitchen knife and gestured at the croaky voice. The croaky voice screamed in fear as his eyes rolled and he fainted. Yun Chujio curled her lips, took a piece of cloth and said to the hook-nosed man, "I'll read and you write. If you dare to write a wrong word, I'll chop off one of your fingers. Senior brother, untie the rope on his hand." "I don't have any ink here," the hook-nosed man said with a sad face. "Bite your finger and write. If you can't bear it, I'll chop off one for you. Yun Chujio said with a smile. The man was scared and quickly took a bite of his right index finger. By the way, what are your names? Yun Chujio stared at the hook-nosed man's eyes to prevent him from lying. He no longer dared to be clever and quickly said, My name is Zhang Xiong, and his name is Sun Liang. Then start writing. I, Zhang Xiong, and Sun Liang are in cahoots with each other. We are like-minded, despicable, and shameless. We're worse than pigs and dogs. We eat human food but do not act like humans. Ever since we came to Spirit Radiance sect, we've been scheming and sowing discord. We have said many bad things about the disciples of Spirit Radiance sect. In fact, those bad things were all fabricated by us. Fortunately, we met the righteous disciples of Spirit Radiance sect. They didn't despise us for being as stupid as pigs and patiently taught us the principles of being human. From now on, we will definitely change our ways and strive to be the ambassadors of the two factions. Sign your names and put your handprints on it. The hawk-nosed man and the duck-voiced man, who had just woken up, signed their names with trembling voices and put their handprints on it. Yun Chujio took it and looked at it. Then she said with disdain, Your handwriting is really ugly. It doesn't have any nice strokes at all. Go back and practice hard. If you can't write well next time, I'll chop your fingers off. The hawk-nosed man said with a sobbing voice, Yes, great aunt. I'll definitely practice hard when I go back. Well, get lost. If anyone wants to stand up for you, just look for me. Yun Chujio waved her hand, indicating for them to be released. The duck-voiced and hawk-nosed men supported each other as they limped away. Yun Chujio looked at the spirit stones and pills that the two had handed over on the ground. She smiled and said to the crowd, Although I, Yun Chujio, am young, I know the principle that it's better to have fun together than alone. I'll ask senior brother Feng Ming to exchange these things for a few jars of spirit wine. When the time comes, all senior brothers and sisters must come and have a taste. Chapter 227. I didn't make a move, everyone cheered. Junior sister little Gio, well done. You're really something. Junior sister little Gio, let us know if there's anything you need help with. Junior sister little Gio, if the higher-ups blame us, well, be your witnesses. That's right. Those two scumbags deserve to be beaten up. If they really want to punish you, we won't agree. Yun Chujio smiled as she put away the spirit stones and pills. After chatting with everyone for a while, she returned to the kitchen. Old Huang followed behind her, wanting to say something but stopping. He gritted his teeth and said, Little Gio, go to Elder Chi's place to hide. Elder Chi is a very protective person, so he'll definitely be able to protect you. Yun Chujio was amused. Old Huang, I know you're worried about me, but don't worry. I'll definitely be fine. Elder Huang saw Yun Chujio's relaxed expression. Although he was still a little worried, he could not say anything. Yun Chu and the others were also worried. They were afraid that Yun Chujio would be punished. Yun Chujio patted her small chest. Don't worry. Don't you all know me? I never do things that I'm unsure of. Yun Chu and the others thought about it. It made sense. It seemed like little Gio was able to accomplish anything. 2 hours later, Master Zuanyuan's disciple came to summon Yun Chujio. He said that Master Xinyuan wanted to see her. Elder Huang and the rest were anxious. Little Gio, those two must have gone back to complain. Master Xinyuan wants to punish you. Yun Chujio waved her little claws. It's fine, it's fine. I'll go and take a look. She hopped and followed the disciple to Master Zuanyuan's guest hall. Yun Chujio stole a glance. Other than Master Xinyuan, the 5 peak masters, and some elders, there were also a few unfamiliar faces. They must be the sect masters and elders of Heavenly Gate sect. Little girl, are you the one who beat up the disciples of our Heavenly Gate sect? An old man in a long green robe stared at Yun Chujio maliciously. At the same time, he emitted a mighty pressure that charged at Yun Chujio. The disciple of Zhang Peak felt suffocated by this pressure and almost vomited blood. On the other hand, Yun Chujio acted as if nothing had happened as she said with a smile, a gentlewoman doesn't fight with hands, but instead uses words to speak. I didn't beat them up. If you don't believe me, you can ask them if I used my hands to beat them up. Master Shenyuan looked at the old man unhappily. Du Gai, the matter hasn't been investigated thoroughly. What is the meaning of this? The old man in green snorted coldly and retracted his aura. Then, he asked the two people standing behind him, "Did she beat you up?" The people standing behind him were the man with a duck voice and the hawk-nosed guy. The two of them looked at each other. Master, although she didn't beat us up, she encouraged others to beat us up. She even kicked us twice. Yun Chujio curled her lips and said, "Wow, you guys sure backtracked on your words real fast. That's not what you guys said in the kitchen. You even thanked us for being brave enough to stop you from reining in your horses in the nick of time. Master Shenyuan, I have their confession letter here. Please take a look." Yun Chujio was afraid that the confession letter would be snatched away by the green-clothed old man, so she hopped around and personally handed the confession letter to Master Shenyuan. Master Shenyuan opened it and took a look. The corners of his eyes twitched slightly, and he almost laughed out loud. He held back his laughter and passed it to the others. After the people from the Spirit Radiance sect finished reading it, they all looked like they were holding back their laughter. Finally, the confession letter was passed to the people from the Heavenly Gates sect. After Du Gai finished reading it, he was so angry that he almost slapped the two people to death. They actually left such a thing in their hands. What a disgrace. Du Gai sneered and said, "This is a forced confession. Master Shenyuan, we came all the way here, but we have suffered such unfair treatment. Your Spirit Radiance sect should at least give us an explanation." Chapter 228, Yun Chujio, where is your honor? Master Shenyuan asked indifferently, "Then what do you want to say?" Du Gai glanced at Yun Chujio sinisterly. "There are two choices. Either we hand this little girl over to our Heavenly Gates sect to deal with, or we send 10 people from each side to compete. The prize of the competition is 100,000 low-grade spirit stones. Master Shenyuan, what will Spirit Radiance sect choose?" Yun Chujio weakly stretched out her small claws. "Master Shenyuan, may I say something?" Master Shenyuan nodded. "Yes." Yun Chujio smiled at Du Gai. "From the two choices that Master Duga mentioned, I understand that Yun Chujio, are equivalent to 100,000 spirit stones. I wonder how sect leader Du Gai wants to deal with me? Why don't you tell me, and if it's not too serious, just give me 100,000 spirit stones and it'll be at your disposal." Whether it was the people from the Spirit Radiance sect or Heavenly Gates sect, they were all instantly dumbfounded. They had never seen such a greedy person. Moreover, aren't you being too shameless? Who said that you're equivalent to 100,000 spirit stones? The two sects are fighting for face, not a mere servant disciple like you. Little girl, if you accept Heavenly Gates sect's punishment, then immediately kneel down and apologize to the two disciples of my sect. Then, you have to withstand a slap from me. Du Gai said with a sneer. "If that's the case, then forget it. I'm representing Spirit Radiance sect's honor, and I can't kneel down to two people that are inferior to pigs and dogs. Let's meet on the competition stage. I think you might as well just give us that 100,000 low-grade spirit stones since you won't win anyway." Yun Chujio was afraid that Du Gai would kill her out of embarrassment and anger. These words were said from behind Elder Chu with her little head poking out. Du Gai was so angry that his face turned ashen. "Master Shenyuan, Spirit Radiance sect is really too unruly. A mere servant actually dares to speak to the sect leader of my sect in such a manner. This is really going too far." Master Shenyuan smiled faintly. "Du Gai, why bother with a child? I agree to have a competition with you. Men, build an arena on the southern Jade Square. Tomorrow morning, Spirit Radiance sect will have a competition with the Heavenly Gates sect." Du Gai snorted coldly and left with a few people. "Yun Chujio, you've provoked a dispute between two sections. You have to take responsibility for it." Master Zuanyuan's face darkened slightly as he said unhappily. Yun Chujio jumped out from behind Elder Chu and said with a smile, "Master Shenyuan, you shouldn't punish me. You should reward me." Master Shenyuan was amused. "Why should I reward you?" Yun Chujio clasped her small hands behind her back and said slowly, I heard that the Heavenly Gates sect came this time to test the strength of our sect. Their disciples are picky and find fault with us. Aren't they just trying to stir up some trouble so that they can take advantage of the situation to get you to agree to the competition? Although you and the other peak masters and elders don't like them, it's not good for you to show up because of your status. What about the other senior brothers and sisters? They're also afraid of offending the guests and being blamed by you. So, I saw that this deadlock can only be broken by a shameless person like me. Thus, I encouraged everyone to beat up those two scumbags and even made them write a confession. In any case, you'll have to agree to the Heavenly Gates sect's competition sooner or later. If I do this, Spirit Radiance sect will go in with honor. When the confession of those two scumbags is announced, no one will say anything bad about us. Moreover, you can even earn 100,000 low-grade spirit stones. This is a good deal, and I've made quite a contribution this time. However, I'm not a greedy person, so it's fine if we split it 50-50. You could just give me 10,000 spirit stones. Everyone else was speechless. We just want to ask, Yun Chujio, where's your honor? Chapter 229. If they can't do it, it'll go up. The corner of Master Xuanyuan's eyes twitched slightly. I can promise you 10,000 spirit stones, but if our Spirit Radiance sect loses, are you also willing to give 10,000 spirit stones? Yun Chujio secretly cursed at the old fox and said with a grin, Master Xianyuan, how can you boost the morale of others and destroy our own prestige? Our sect will definitely win, and definitely beat the Heavenly Gates sect to the point that they will give up. There's always a contingency plan for everything. If you dare to agree, I will agree to you. Master Xianyuan kicked the ball back to Yun Chujio. Yun Chujio rolled her eyes and straightened her small body. Why wouldn't I dare? As a Spirit Radiance sect disciple, you have to have absolute confidence in the sect. Although I only have a dozen or so spirit stones with me, I can write an IOU and will slowly repay it in the future. Yun Chujio's words immediately won the praise of the people present. Although Yun Chujio was usually not very interesting, she was still very loyal to the sect. Master Xianyuan was very surprised. Yun Chujio was not an ordinary person who was greedy for money. She actually dared to agree? At that moment, the train had left the station and he could not back down. He could only say, all right, then it's a deal. If you win, it'll give you 10,000 spirit stones. If you lose, you'll compensate the sect with 10,000 spirit stones. You can go back. Yun Chujio hopped back to the big kitchen. Elder Huang and the others immediately surrounded her. Yun Chujio waved her small claws. It's all right, it's all right. Our sect leader is the most wise. Not only did he not punish me, he even felt that I had been too kind. He encouraged me to be harsher next time. Although everyone felt that these words did not sound like what Master Xianyuan had said, they did not ask any further when they saw that Yun Chujio was unharmed. Yun Chujio strolled around the kitchen and began to collect more items while she was at it, especially when she stole a few large packets of chili and pepper powder. Early the next morning, Yun Chujio brought Little Black with her, and with a rolling pin on her waist, she headed to the Southern Jade Square valiantly. Master, why are you so proactive? Little Black asked in confusion. Are you stupid? We're talking about 10,000 spirit stones here. If the people of Spirit Radiance sect aren't strong enough, I'll personally go up. No matter what, I can't give up 10,000 spirit stones. Master, aren't you afraid that your thunder spirit energy will be exposed? Don't I still have you? When you curse them, the opponent will definitely fall down. When he doesn't get up, I'll throw another bag of chili powder. It will be so painful. Yun Chujio laughed strangely. The rolling pin shook. What kind of evil master did I follow? Isn't she too sinister? When Yun Chujio hopped to the Southern Jade Square, there were already many people gathered in the square. They were all discussing that day's competition. Yun Chujio used her small figure to squeeze to the front. She took out a bag of spirit melon seeds from her bosom and ate them while listening to everyone's discussion. I wonder who will the Heavenly Gate sect send? If my spiritual power wasn't too low, I would have wanted to go on stage and beat up those bastards. They're all very arrogant. I don't think they will be outstanding disciples. After all, it's just a test. They also want to leave some cards up their sleeves. Well, what you said makes sense. If the people sent out by heavenly gates aren't of a high level, I don't think our sect will send out true disciples. That's only natural. I reckon that they would send people with similar spiritual power levels. When the time comes, what will be tested will be their actual combat ability and improvisation. Yun Chujio rolled her eyes. If the two sides were equally powerful, then she would have to teach the people of the Spirit Radiance sect a lesson. They were all too honest. It would be better to be sinister on a battlefield. If they were too honest, they would suffer. Chapter 230. The Spirit Radiance sect was only subpar an hour later. Master Xinyuan and Du Gai arrived. Master Xinyuan stood on the stage and said a few polite words. It was nothing more than welcoming the visit of the guests from Heavenly Gates sect, and some nonsense about friendship first and competition second. After his polite words, they got to the main topic and the competition officially began. The people of the Heavenly Gates sect were obviously well prepared. Just as Master Xinyuan walked off the stage, a male disciple from the sect jumped onto the stage. I am Wang Dongliang, a new disciple of the Heavenly Gates sect. I am on level 7 of Spirit Enhancement. Who from Spirit Radiance sect is willing to come up and spar with me? The four great sects were conducting the entrance test at around the same time, so Wang Dongliang was a new disciple who had entered the sect less than a year ago. Spirit Radiance sect naturally had to find someone with the right strength to go up and fight. Mo Zhua, a new disciple from the East Peak of Spirit Radiance sect, is going to fight. Elder Chu knew these new disciples better, so Master Xinyuan handed over the task of picking the candidates to him. A male disciple dressed in Spirit Radiance sect's outer sect uniform jumped onto the stage. The two of them cupped their hands and were about to make a move after reporting their names. Suddenly, Yun Chujio cried out in surprise. Immediately, both the people on the stage and those around them turned their gazes to Yun Chujio. Yun Chujio looked around and laughed dryly. I'm sorry. I had a nightmare just now. I dreamt that the people of the Heavenly Gates sect were constantly plotting against me. They were attacking me, feigning death, poisoning, using hidden weapons, talismans, and so on. It jolted me awake. Senior Brother Mo, you have to be careful. There are no fathers and sons on this battlefield. You can't be soft-hearted toward him. Wang Dongliang was livid. Why did her words sound so made up? Not just that, exactly what did she mean by there were no fathers and sons on the battlefield? Who was the father and who was the son between the two of them? Mo Zhua was extremely smart, so he naturally understood Yun Chujio's implication. Therefore, he was somewhat on guard. Sure enough, after the two of them started fighting and just as they were getting to the heat of things, Wang Dongliang made a feint and threw 3 golden needles straight at Mo Zhua's face. If it were not for Yun Chujio's warning, Mo Zhua would have been hit. However, he was already mentally prepared. He leaned back and dodged the 3 golden needles. On top of that, he formed a seal with his hand and 5 wind blades went straight for Wang Dongliang. Wang Dongliang thought his golden needles would successfully hit his opponent, so he was caught off guard. Although he dodged 4 of the wind blades, he was still hit in the abdomen by the edge of one of the wind blades. Wang Dongliang screamed and hurriedly took a hemostasis pill. Then, he said with a pale face, I admit defeat. Du Gai's face was gloomy. He sent another disciple to the ring. Elder Chu responded to each and every move, and also sent a disciple with the corresponding strength onto the stage. After a few rounds like that, both sides had their winners and losers. Spirit Radiance sect relied on the favorable location and the harmony of the people. Hence, they had a slight advantage which resulted in a score of 5-4. The next round was crucial. If Spirit Radiance sect won, then they would win the whole tournament. If the Heavenly Gates sect won, then both sides only had one more chance to win. No one had expected that the Heavenly Gates sect would send a beautiful woman to the stage in that crucial round. The woman was elegant and refined, like a fairy who did not belong to the mortal world. However, there was a hint of arrogance on her face. I, a new disciple of the Heavenly Gates sect, Su Yenran, is at the 8th level of the Spirit Enhancement Realm. Who wants to fight with me? Yun Chujio took a good look and saw that it was really the Su Yenran that she knew. The 8th level of the Spirit Enhancement Realm? It seemed that Su Yenran had some fortuitous encounter. Otherwise, it would be impossible for her to advance from the 5th level of the Spirit Enhancement Realm to the 8th level in half a year's time. Elder Chu was in a dilemma. Liao Chuan, a new disciple, was only at the 8th level of the Spirit Enhancement Realm, and he had just broken through half a month ago. Su Yenran was obviously at the late stage of the 8th level, and was just one step away from the 9th level of the Spirit Enhancement Realm. We're most likely going to lose this round. Sure enough, after Liao Chuan went on the stage, no matter how hard he tried to hold on for dozens of rounds, he was still hit in the abdomen by Su Yenran. He could only admit defeat. Su Yenran smiled coldly and arrogantly. The Spirit Radiance sect is only subpar. In the next round, Heavenly Gates sect will still send me to fight. I wonder who from Spirit Radiance sect will come on the stage to fight with me? Chapter 231. The Fire Fairy. Yun Chujio. Su Yanran's provocative words naturally caused the people of Spirit Radiance sect to be dissatisfied. However, in the Qingshen continent, the strong were respected. For Su Yenran to be able to reach the 8th level of the Spirit Enhancement at the age of 15, she indeed had the right to be arrogant. Such a talent would become a successor disciple sooner or later. It was really not something to be underestimated. Elder Chu was in a difficult situation. Spirit Radiance sect naturally had many disciples above the 8th level of the Spirit Enhancement. However, Su Yenran was a new disciple of Heavenly Gate sect. If they sent an old disciple, it would be equivalent to showing weakness in disguise. If that was the case, it would be better to lose. Moreover, it was not forbidden for the same person to fight twice. Even though they knew that Su Yenran had taken advantage of a loophole, there was nothing they could do. It seemed that they were really careless. They did not expect that the Heavenly Gates sect would send out all new disciples. They were caught unprepared. Looks like their sect was bound to lose this competition. Du Gai looked at Su Yenran with admiration. Then he said to Master Xianyuan with a smug expression, "Master Xianyuan, it seems that the new disciples that you've recruited this time aren't strong enough." Although Master Xianyuan was anxious in his heart, he looked calm on the surface. "The competition hasn't ended yet. You're too quick with your words." Du Gai pursed his lips and thought to himself, what a stubborn duck. He had made this decision after a round of investigation. Su Yanran's strength had crushed all the new disciples of the 4 great sects, so they would definitely win this competition. The people of Spirit Radiance sect could not help but feel a little discouraged when they saw that Elder Chu had not announced the candidates for the stage yet. That was right. Among them, only Liao Chuan was at the 8th level of the Spirit Enhancement Realm, and he had already been defeated by Su Yenran. The rest were even more useless. Just as the people of Spirit Radiance sect were frowning, someone climbed up the stage along the ladder. "Well, it's getting late. Everyone must be hungry, right? Let me be the one to fight this round. Sect leader, you don't have any objections, right?" When the people from Spirit Radiance sect saw the person who spoke on the stage and were instantly discouraged. Wasn't that Yun Chujio from the Middle Peak's big kitchen? Wasn't she asking for trouble? Even though you have a lot of bad ideas, the difference between someone at the 8th level of the Spirit Enhancement Realm and someone without spirit energy was like the difference between heaven and earth. Su Yenran could kill you with one move. The people from the Heavenly Gates sect burst into laughter. "Oh my God, is there no one left in Spirit Radiance sect? They actually brought up a trash without spirit energy. She actually climbed up a ladder. What's that on her shoulders? A young fire-breathing crow. There's a strange-looking stick on her waist too. Fuck, isn't that a rolling pin?" Elder Chu was so anxious that he was sweating profusely. This was simply too ridiculous. If Yun Chujio were to be snuffed out, how would they explain it to Patriarch Linghua in the future? Just as Elder Chu was about to berate Yun Chujio, Master Zuanyuan's heart moved. This little girl, Yun Chujio, had always been scheming and scheming. Perhaps she really had a way to defeat Su Yenran. Moreover, Yun Chujio had the defensive spirit weapon that he and Peak Master Chu had given her. There was definitely no danger. Since there was no other way around it, why not let her give it a try? It was a last resort. When Master Shenyuan thought of this, he said in a deep voice, "All right. This round, Spirit Radiance sect will send Yun Chujio to fight." Everyone in the sect felt that Master Shenyuan had gone crazy. Yun Chujio is causing trouble, and you're causing trouble too. This round was definitely a lost cause. Some disciples of Spirit Radiance sect simply left with their heads drooping. They really did not want to see the ridiculing faces of their opponents after Yun Chujio was abused. Yun Chujio, who was on the stage, smiled and cupped her fists toward the audience. There are probably many people who don't know me. Let me introduce myself first. I am Yun Chujio, the Fire Fairy of Spirit Radiance sect's Middle Peak Kitchen. Chapter 232, The Unbelievable Yun Chujio Fire Fairy? Holy shit. Yun Chujio, do you still have any sense of shame? The corners of her sect's members' eyes twitched, and some of them were so shocked that they could not close their mouths. They had encountered thick-skinned individuals before, but for their skin to be as thick as Yun Chujio's, it was truly unprecedented. Was she the one who conferred herself the title of fairy? Those who could be called fairy had at least two conditions. One was that they were absolutely beautiful, and the other was that they possessed superb spiritual power. One would ask, which did she have? The people from Heavenly Gate's sect laughed so hard that they rocked back and forth. A fire fairy? To put it bluntly, was she not just a fire girl? There really must have been no one else capable for them to send a fire girl on stage. Could it be that they knew that they were going to lose, so they decided to just break the rules? Du Gai smiled disdainfully and said, "Master Shenyuan, could it be that you think Spirit Radiance sect is going to lose, so you want this black girl to take the blame?" Master Shenyuan smiled faintly. "The winner hasn't been decided yet. Master Du Gai, don't jump to conclusions." Du Gai curled his lips. A trash without spirit energy and a genius at the 8th level of the spirit enhancement realm. Even those without eyes know who will win. You'd better hurry up and prepare the spirit stones. Master Shenyuan smiled and did not say anything. He was not sure either. He did not know if Yun Chujio could make a comeback this time. On the stage, Yun Chujio looked at Su Yenran with a smile as if she did not hear the crowd's discussion. "Su Yenran, I haven't seen you for a few days, but you're getting more and more beautiful. You're almost as beautiful as me." The crowd was speechless. Alright, Yun Chujio was really shameless. Su Yenran was also stunned when she saw Yun Chujio on the stage. Now that she heard Yun Chujio said such a thing, she looked at her with disdain and replied, "Yun Chujio, didn't you say that Elder Sun Buzhong and Elder Sun took you as a disciple? Why did you become a fire girl?" If it was an ordinary person, they would definitely be embarrassed if their background was exposed. Obviously, Yun Chujio was not an ordinary person, so said with a smile, "Elder Sun is on a cultivation retreat. Moreover, I want to experience the people's sentiments. Also, I'm a fire fairy, not some fire girl." Su Yenran snorted coldly. "I don't care if you're a fire fairy or a fire girl. Once you enter the arena, it doesn't matter if you're dead or alive. I advise you to admit defeat immediately. Otherwise, don't blame me for being ruthless if I accidentally kill you." "Kill me? Do you have the ability to do that? 6 mighty elephants couldn't even kill me, and you, a weak little chicken, wants to kill me? You're simply shameless." Yun Chujio hugged her small shoulders and said arrogantly while shaking her legs. Su Yenran had always been proud and arrogant. How could she withstand Yun Chujio's provocation? She was instantly enraged. "Fine. Since you're courting death, then I'll fulfill your wish." Su Yenran moved her palm toward Yun Chujio. The people from Spirit Radiance sect could not bear to watch any longer. It was over. Yun Chujio, this trash without spiritual power, would not be able to dodge this palm. She would definitely die. No matter how much evil tricks she had, it would be useless in the face of such a huge difference in strength. Yun Chujio was fine? TSK, you're really rude. I was talking to you in a friendly manner, but you attacked me at the first sign of disagreement. You're really shameless. Su Yenran, you're shameless. Not only was Yun Chujio fine, she was even jumping around as she dodged and cursed nonstop. Su Yenran was so angry that she was about to explode. She attacked repeatedly. However, Yun Chujio was able to craftily dodge Su Yanran's attacks every time. Moreover, she was extremely fast. Whether it was the people of Spirit Radiance sect or Heavenly Gates sect, they were all extremely astonished. A trash without spiritual power could actually fight against a person at the 8th level of the Spirit Enhancement realm for so many rounds? It was really too unbelievable. Did they not say that the difference in strength between levels was like a gully? Why did a good-for-nothing like Yun Chujio look more relaxed than a Spirit-enhanced 8th level cultivator like Liao Chuan? Chapter 233. Fortunately, Du Gai was also very surprised, but he looked at the situation on the stage, sneered, and said, although this little girl has some ability, this is only temporary. She only has the ability to dodge and has no chance to fight back. She'll lose without a doubt if she can't last more than 15 rounds. Many people also understood that reasoning. Although it was very surprising that Yun Chujio could hold on for so long, the outcome could not be changed. She would still lose without a doubt. Yun Chujio avoided Su Yanran's attack as she said with a grin, Su Yanran, you still dare to boast shamelessly that Spirit Radiance sect is only subpar. I see that your Heavenly Gates sect isn't that special either. Your spiritual power has almost been used up, right? A wise man submits to circumstances. For the sake of our past friendship, as long as you kneel down and admit your mistake to me, I'll spare you. The crowd was angered by Yun Chujio's words. You've said it the other way around. If you want to be spared, Su Yenran should be the one sparing you. Su Yenran would kneel down and beg for mercy? Not unless the sun rose from the north. Su Yenran had failed to defeat Yun Chujio after many rounds. She had long been impatient. When she heard Yun Chujio say that, she was so angry that her lungs were about to explode. She even stepped up her attacks. Unexpectedly, something unwarranted happened. Su Yenran stumbled and actually fell onto the stage with a bang. Ah, that's right. Since you're so tactful, I'll give you something good. Yun Chujio pretended to take out a big bag of chili powder from her storage ring. She threw it at Su Yenran. Su Yenran just looked up. She thought it was a hidden weapon, so she could not dodge in time. She swung her wind blade. Boom! The chili powder inside got on Su Yanran's face. Cough, cough, chew, achoo. Su Yenran coughed so hard that her nose was full of snot. She looked as pathetic as she could be. How could Yun Chujio let go of such a good opportunity? She kicked Su Yenran off the stage. Then, she put her hands behind her back and imitated Su Yanran's previous arrogant look. The Heavenly Gates sect is only subpar. The crowd was silent at first, then they began to discuss. Oh my god! Hurry up and pinch me. Yun Chujio actually won? Fuck. A good-for-nothing without spiritual power actually defeated a level 8 spirit cultivator? Why did that Su Yenran suddenly fall on the stage? Could it be that she really begged Yun Chujio for mercy? If you ask me, it must be that Su Yenran tripped and that Yun Chujio took advantage of the situation. Oh right, what kind of poison do you think Yun Chujio threw? Why is that Su Yenran coughing so hard that she can't even breathe? A disciple who was close to the arena looked at some of the powder floating down and said, chili powder. This is ordinary chili powder. Su Yenran was already embarrassed and angry, but when she heard the discussion of the crowd, she was so angry that she rolled her eyes and almost fainted. Yun Chujio, I won't forgive you. Just you wait. Today is just an accident. If I hadn't accidentally fallen, your chili powder wouldn't have succeeded. There's still time in the future, and sooner or later, they'll have to take revenge for today's humiliation. Seeing that the outcome was already decided, Yun Chujio climbed down the ladder with a smile. Then, she shouted in the direction of Master Xianyuan, Master Xianyuan, fortunately, we didn't fail. Our Spirit Radiance sect has won. Master Xianyuan was feeling refreshed. He found Yun Chujio so pleasing to the eye. He nodded at her and then said to Du Gai, Master Dugu, I'm really sorry. Our sect has the upper hand. Please fulfill your promise. Du Gai glared at Yun Chujio fiercely. Everything turned out like this because of this Yun Chujio. Detestable. She is really detestable. Chapter 234. We admire you for being so greedy. Yun Chujio saw Du Gai glaring at her and bared her little white teeth at him. Master Du Gai, don't you think my performance isn't bad? Aren't you going to reward me? Du Gai was so angry that his nose scrunched up. Reward you? I wish I could slap you to death. Master Shenyuan laughed and said, Master Du Gai, you're too polite. This gesture of yours is commendable, as is expected of a sect master. Yun Chujio, why don't you quickly thank Master Du Gai? Yun Chujio said with a smile, Master Dugu, thank you very much. You're indeed the sect master of the Heavenly Gate sect. Although you lost the competition, you're still rewarding me. You're really open-minded. You're so amiable and admirable. Du Gai was so angry that he almost spat out a mouthful of blood. Shenyuan and Yun Chujio. They were simply an old fox and a little fox. They really ate people without spitting out their bones. Not only did they lose 100,000 low-grade spirit stones to Spirit Radiance sect, but they actually wanted him to give Yun Chujio something. It was infuriating. Even though Du Gai was extremely unwilling, if he did not give her something he would lose his reputation. Moreover, if this thing was not of a high enough grade, he would not be able to avoid being laughed at by others. Although you won by luck this time, I saw that you're still quite agile, so I'll give you this middle-grade spirit tool, the Scarlet Dawn Silk. However, you don't have any spirit energy, so I reckon you won't be able to use it. Du Gai could not help but say a few bitter words. Yun Chujio ran over eagerly and took the cloth. She said with a smile, Thank you, sect leader Du Gai. Although I don't have any spirit energy, this piece of Scarlet Dawn Silk is pretty. I'll tie it around my waist. It's very hot in the kitchen, so it'll be good to use it to wipe my sweat. Du Gai was so angry that he was twitching. That was a middle-grade spirit tool, and you're going to use it to wipe your sweat. Is your sweat that precious? Everyone was also dumbfounded. The only person who would use a middle-grade spirit tool to wipe their sweat was probably that idiot, Yun Chujio. What a reckless waste of a god's gift. Su Yenran was simply about to explode from anger. The sect leader had originally said that he would give the Scarlet Dawn Silk to her after the competition ended. Who would have thought that he had to give it to this thick-skinned Yun Chujio? Yun Chujio, sooner or later, I will kill you. Yun Chujio did not care about what others thought. She tied the scarlet red silk on her belt. Alright, Yun Chujio's current image was truly unique. On the left side of her waist was a bright red silk cloth. On the right side of her waist was a rolling pin, and on her shoulder was a fire-breathing crow. Her aura could be described with one word. Awesome. She was about to obtain 10,000 spirit stones, and she had obtained another tool. She was in such a good mood. Master Shenyuan went up to the stage and spoke a few more pleasantries before the competition finally came to an end. Yun Chujio's reputation in Spirit Radiance sect soared once again. The outer sect disciples and servants felt that even though she did not have any spirit energy, she was agile, thick-skinned, and evil. It was best that they did not offend her. As for the inner sect disciples and true disciples, they did not take Yun Chujio to heart. No matter how powerful Yun Chujio was, she could not be compared to them. It was already good enough that she barely made it into the outer sect. That night, Su Yenran sent someone to look for Bai Moyu and his sister. The three of them had a confidential discussion. When the Bai siblings came out, they could not hide the joy on their faces. The next day, Du Gai left along with everyone else from Heavenly Gate sect. As soon as they left, Yun Chujio immediately went to look for Master Shenyuan. Naturally, she was there to claim the 10,000 low-grade spirit stones. This was no joke. She had been having dreams and could not sleep well the night before. If she did not collect her wins, would she not have wasted a bag of chili powder for nothing? Master Shenyuan, I'm here to collect the spirit stones. Yun Chujio shouted happily as soon as she entered the meeting room. Master Xinyuan wanted to tease Yun Chujio, so he said, 10,000 spirit stones isn't light. You can't use the storage bag, so I'll keep it for you. Take 100 for now. Yun Chujio bared her white teeth. Master, you don't have to worry about that. I've thought about it. I brought my fourth brother. We can put it in his storage bag. However, if our sect is short of money, I can lend you the spirit stones. You can pay me 1,000 spirit stones a month as interest. I'm not greedy. She made everyone speechless, yet again. They just wanted to say that Yun Chujio was such a money grubber that they just had to respect her. Chapter 235. The 5 elements were missing. Since you're prepared, then go and get the spirit stones with someone. The corner of Master Xuanyuan's eyes twitched. 8,000 spirit stones of interest per month. Why don't you go and rob instead? Alright. If you don't need it, then forget it. If someone else wanted to borrow from me, I would have charged 2,000. Once the ship sails, I'll be hard to come by again. Master Xinyuan waved his hand. I can't afford your spirit stones. Yun Chujio hopped around and decided to bring Yun Chuzi along with an elder to collect the 10,000 low-grade spirit stones. Yun Chuzi's storage bag could not hold all of it, so Yun Chujio asked Yun Chuzi to bring his own storage bag as well. After much difficulty, she finally stuffed the 10,000 spirit stones into the bags. Yun Chuzi was scared silly by so many sparkling spirit stones. My goodness, has the sect master gone mad? He actually rewarded little Gio with so many spiritual stones. Yun Chuzi felt that he could not even roam the streets anymore. He was really scared to have such a huge amount of stones on him, afraid that he would be targeted by others. Fourth brother, give me that storage bag. We can't put our eggs in the same basket at the same time. You know, just in case. Yun Chujio said with a smile. Yun Chuzi felt that these 2 storage bags with a huge amounts of stones were like hot potatoes. Hearing Yun Chujio's words, he hurriedly handed the storage bag to Yun Chujio. Yun Chujio stuffed the storage bag into her bosom, but in fact, she stuffed it into her storage ring. Then, she hopped back to their respective dorms with Yun Chuzi. When Yun Chujio arrived at the dorms, she poured all the spirit stones on the floor of the house and cackled, I'm rich. I'm rich. Master, that's enough. The gigolo has given you more than this, but I've never seen you so happy. Little Black stared at her with his pizzazed eyes. He could not bear to look at her. How can it be the same? He gave it to me as if it was a master sending a servant girl away. I earned this myself. In the future, I'll earn a lot of money and raise a lot of gigolos. Cold, evil, abstinent. Yun Chujio sat in the pile of spirit stones and kept talking while counting her fingers. Just as Yun Chujio was talking happily, the door was blown to smithereens. When the little black bird saw the person standing outside, it felt that it was really a jinx. Every time its master got into trouble, it seemed to be the one who started the conversation. Master, just say it. Why didn't you say it in your mind? Why did you have to say it out loud? This was not its fault. It asked with its mind. Yun Chujio did not need to turn around to know that it was the gigolo. This gigolo was born to be at odds with the door. The 5 elements people usually lacked in were metal, wood, water, fire, and earth, while he was lacking the door. She acted as if nothing had happened. She turned around and smiled at Di Biming, whose face was ashen. Prince Charming, you're here? Are you angry? I did it on purpose. I knew you were outside, so I deliberately angered you. Who asked you to leave for such a long time? I'm going crazy being tortured by lovesickness. So, what you said just now was crazy? Di Biming stared at Yun Chujio gloomily. Yun Chujio's heart was beating fast. She did not know how much the gigolo had heard. However, she pretended to be calm. Of course it's crazy. I only took 1 scoop of wine. With you, my Prince Charming, all the other men are eunuchs to me. They're all sissies. They're all just floating clouds. Where's that idiot in red? Di Biming remembered what the voice transmission talisman said, and he was furious. Who's the idiot in red? Yun Chujio really had no clue this time. It's that idiot in red that you mentioned in your voice transmission talisman. Black thing, you're really capable. I've only left for a short while, And you've already hooked up with another man. Do you take my words that lightly? Di Baiming thought that Yun Chujio was playing dumb, and he was so angry that he gritted his teeth. Chapter 236. Whatever. Prince Charming, are you talking about the red-clothed pervert? How can I like him? I wish I could skin him alive. Yun Chujio's face was filled with disgust when she thought of the red-clothed man. Then why did you say in the voice transmission talisman that the red-clothed man was pretty good-looking? Di Baiming had been tormented by those words for the past few days. He could not hold it in anymore and hurriedly made some arrangements. He came to find Yun Chujio to settle the score. I did say that, but I also said later that the man was a pervert. He wanted to kill me and take my skull. I almost died. If it wasn't for the jade pendant you gave me, I would have died long ago. Yun Chujio said with an aggrieved look. Di Baiming was stunned for a moment before he instantly understood what had happened. He coughed dryly. Black thing, there's a limit to the length the voice transmission talisman can record. You can't record so much info on it. Yun Chujio cried out in shock. What? No wonder you only replied, I won't forgive you after I said so much. I thought you were feeling sorry for the jade pendant because it had a crack. Di Baiming was in the wrong and quickly changed the topic. That idiot in red wants your skull? Describe that person to me in detail. That person was dressed in red and was extremely flashy. His spiritual power was very high and he even held a skull in his hand. One look and you could tell that he was a pervert. When he saw me, he said that my skull was good-looking and insisted on killing me to get my skull. Fortunately, I was quick-witted. Otherwise, I definitely wouldn't have been able to meet you, my Prince Charming. Yun Chujio said through gritted teeth. Di Baiming was stunned. So it was him. However, although he plays with a skull all day long, according to what I know, it was just a kind of evil fun to scare people. That skull was made of imitation materials and wasn't a real skull. Regardless, there's no need for the black thing to know about this. Di Baiming's eyes flashed, and with a serious expression, he said, I know that person. That person is famous for being a pervert. He specialized in collecting human skulls. Regardless of gender, age, as long as it was a skull that he liked, he would kill the person and take the skull for him to play with. If you see him in the future, you must avoid him. Achoo! Achoo! Who is scolding me? I'm tired of living. It might be that stiff-faced Di Baiming again. Sooner or later, they'll kill him. Somewhere, the red-clothed man who was playing with a skull sneezed a few times. Seeing how serious Di Baiming was, Yun Chujio immediately said pitifully, Prince Charming, then give me something good to save my life. I don't want to die at such a young age. Di Baiming snorted, Give? I have plenty of good things, but you can only buy them if you want it. Di Baiming thought to himself. He could not let her be rich. Otherwise, she would actually want to have a gigolo by her side. That was preposterous. Prince Charming, how many spirit stones is the jade pendant you gave me worth? When Yun Chujio heard that she had to pay, her face immediately twitched. It's not expensive. It's only 5 million high-grade spirit stones. Di Baiming said lightly. How much? 5 million high-grade spirit stones? Yun Chujio could not believe her ears. Yun Chujio counted with her fingers. 1 high-grade spirit stone was equivalent to 100 middle-grade spirit stones, and 1 middle-grade spirit stone was equivalent to 100 lower-grade spirit stones. 5 million high-grade spirit stones be equivalent to 50 billion lower-grade spirit stones? Yun Chujio originally thought that she had quite a lot of spirit stones, but she was instantly shocked. Fuck. This bit of spirit stones of hers was not even worth a single cent. Di Baiming looked at Yun Chujio's shocked little face and said with a smile, The voice transmission talisman I gave you costs 100,000 high-grade spirit stones each, and the concealment talisman costs 500,000 high-grade spirit stones each. Calculate how much money you owe me. Oh, right, every time you eat a meal, a bowl of spiritual rice costs 10 high-grade spirit stones. Yun Chujio laughed dryly. Prince Charming, didn't you give those things to me? You're not thinking of asking me for money, are you? Yun Chujio made up her mind in her heart. She would not pay. She did not have the money and was not willing to give her life. Whatever. Di Baiming looked deeply at Yunchujio. Forget about the previous ones, but in the future, everything I give you, you have to use spirit stones to buy. If you don't have money, then write an IOU. Chapter 237. No way. Yunchujio's face was filled with despair. Using spirit stones to buy it? Pretty Yoi, you are heartless. You drank my blood. Why didn't you use spirit stones to buy it? Although Yunchujio was fuming with anger, she did not dare to resist. She only glared fiercely at Little Black, who was trying hard to reduce its presence. Master, this isn't my fault. Who asked you to speak your mind with your mouth? Don't you know that trouble comes from your mouth? Little Black glared at her and tried to explain. Then, it flapped its short wings and slipped out. Yunchujio's intestines were about to turn green with regret. Why did she have to speak her mind? This time, the gigolo turned hostile and refused to acknowledge her. He actually wanted money from her. Was this not taking her life? Forget it. There was still time. She did not believe that she could not manage this gigolo. He wanted money? No way. Yes, no way at all. Prince Charming, have you finished your business? Yunchujio said as she put the spirit stones on the ground into her storage ring. Even a mosquito's leg was still meat. She did not want the gigolo to snatch it away. It's not finished yet. Di Baiming thought to himself. He had originally come to teach her a lesson, but he realized that he was being petty. How was he going to smooth things over? Idle, I know. Is it because you don't have enough blood? Yunchujio saw Di Baiming stammering and thought that he was too embarrassed to admit it. Di Baiming was worried that he did not have an excuse, so he quickly nodded. Yes, that's right. Bring the porcelain bottle, it'll drain some blood right away. Yunchujio heard Di Baiming answer and felt a little stifled. It turned out that it was really for her blood. No need, it'll just suck it directly. Di Baiming pricked Yunchujio's finger with a silver needle and then put it in his mouth. At first, Yunchujio was still indignant in her heart. This damned gigolo is a vampire. He only knows how to drink my blood all day long. Even the cows know how to contribute milk after eating grass. How could you, after drinking my blood, still want my spirit stones? You're really heartless. Slowly, Yunchujio's face turned red. Damned gigolo, what are you doing? You're clearly not sucking blood. You're taking advantage of me. Yunchujio fiercely pulled out her finger and glared at Di Baiming. Just drink enough. If you drink more, you'll die of exhaustion. Di Baiming saw that his little thoughts were exposed, and he said in a threatening tone, Black thing, you're getting bolder and bolder. You actually dare to glare at me. Glare? Prince Charming, you're mistaken. I was winking at you. Although Yunchujio wanted to strangle Di Baiming in her heart, she still cowered. Di Baiming was speechless. Prince Charming, when are you leaving? Yunchujio wanted Di Baiming to leave as soon as possible. She felt angry just looking at him. Di Baiming frowned. Why? Are you chasing me away? My Prince Charming, didn't you say that you haven't finished your business? I'm afraid that it'll delay your work. We can't delay work for the sake of our relationship, can we? Yunchujio said righteously. Di Baiming looked at Yunchujio suspiciously and said indifferently, I'll leave tomorrow morning. Leave tomorrow? That's great. Yunchujio suppressed her happiness and said with a bitter face, Although I can't bear to part with you, business is more important. My Prince Charming, it's time for dinner. Let's eat. Di Baiming's eyes flashed. He took out exquisite dishes from his storage ring and placed them on the table. Then he said, I can eat these. You prepare food for yourself. Of course, if you want to eat this, you can buy them with spirit stones. Chapter 238. Get Lost. Yunchujio secretly glanced at the dishes on the table. Damn it, the gigolo must have done this on purpose. Why did he put all my favorite dishes on the table? The steamed white dace fish meat looked tender and delicious. The braised pork ribs were brown in color, fragrant and glutinous. There was also the shrimp. Please make some space for me. I want to put my dishes on the table. Yunchujio said to Di Baiming angrily. Di Baiming smiled. He moved his food and cleared half the table for Yun Chujio. Yun Chujio took out a plate of fried cabbage and a steamed bun from her storage ring pitifully. However, she mumbled, "Humph. People should know how to maintain their health. They should eat well in the morning and afternoon, and eat less in the evening. Some people eat really greasy food so often. They're truly unafraid of indigestion." Di Baiming glanced at her, picked up a piece of fish, and slowly swallowed it. The fish today is not bad. It's sweet and tender, and it's also good for digestion. Yun Chujio took a bite of the steamed bun. Sigh, some people should be careful not to get fish bones stuck in their throat. I heard that some people get choked to death by the fish bones. Di Baiming felt an inexplicable itch in his throat, so he picked up a piece of rib. This rib stew is soft and falls off the bone. It really melts in the mouth. Yun Chujio's saliva almost flowed out. The moment she looked at the rib, she saw that it looked very tasty. Moreover, it was the rib of a level 8 sword-bristled pig. Hence, the meat was extremely fresh and tender. She swallowed her saliva and said sourly, "Humph. It's greasy, what's so good about it? Cabbage is still the best. Cabbage, the king of all vegetables. Black thing, do you want to try a piece?" Di Baiming picked up a piece of rib and asked Yun Chujio with a smile. This young lady could not be corrupted by wealth and prestige nor shaken by poverty. She had the might to not succumb to the dark side, and he wanted to buy her out with ribs? But I really want to eat it. What's wrong with that? Do you want payment for it? Yun Chujio swallowed her saliva and decided to fall to the dark side. This piece is a gift from me, I don't want money. Di Baiming smiled and placed the rib into Yun Chujio's bowl. Yun Chujio immediately thanked him with a smile and happily ate the pork ribs. Then she realized that she had been tricked. If she had not eaten the pork ribs, she would have thought that the stir-fried cabbage in front of her was still edible. However, after eating the pork ribs, she felt that the stir-fried cabbage in front of her was fucking pig's food. She could not even eat a single mouthful. What a sinister gigolo. Yun Chujio endured it and asked, "Prince Charming, how much is this rib?" "Black thing, you know that this is the rib of an 8th grade sword-bristled boar. It's also made with various earth-grade spirit herbs, so it's naturally not cheap. Consider this a friendship price. 1 rib for 1 high-grade spirit stone." Di Baiming said indifferently. 1 high-grade spirit stone? Then would that not cost 10,000 lower-grade spirit stones? Fuck. Gigolo, why don't you go rob someone instead? You black-hearted profiteer. Yun Chujio was a foodie and also a money grubber. Upon hearing the price, she immediately gave up on the idea of buying and continued to fiercely chew on the steamed bun. Seeing that Yun Chujio was not going to make a fuss, Di Baiming felt a little regretful. It seemed like the price was high, but he had already reduced the price to its lowest. He did not expect her to be so stingy. Forget it. Since you're donating blood to this venerable self, he'll give you a cheaper price. 1,000 low-grade spirit stones. 1,000? Too expensive. Yun Chujio continued to gnaw on the steamed bun fiercely. 100. If you don't want to buy it, then forget it. I will eat it myself. Di Baiming gritted his teeth. I'll buy it. I'll have this plate of ribs. Yun Chujio snatched the plate of ribs over. Don't play around. There's still some sauce on this. It would taste really good with rice. Don't take advantage of cheap steaks so easily, bastard. Chapter 239. You can't be fooled if you can't afford it, Prince Charming. How much is a bowl of rice? After Yun Chujio snatched the plate of ribs and set her eyes on Di Baiming's bowl of rice. Di Baiming felt that the black thing would definitely not be able to accept the original price of 10 high-grade spirit stones, so he said, "Originally, it's 10 high-grade spirit stones for a bowl, but I feel sorry for you. Forget it, he'll charge you 100 low-grade spirit stones for a bowl." "Prince Charming, you're really too kind. Give me 3 bowls." Yun Chujio felt that pork ribs were really compatible with rice. Especially the spirit rice that Di Baiming brought. Every grain was full and translucent, filled with spirit energy. It tasted really great too. 3 bowls? Didn't someone say that one should eat less for dinner? Di Baiming raised his eyebrows. Yun Chujio laughed dryly. An ordinary person should be like that, but my body is still growing, so I need to eat well. Di Baiming looked at Yun Chujio's small body and nodded. That's right, you should take care of it. It's too boring. Yun Chujio was so angry that she almost smashed the plate on Di Baiming's face. Gigolo, do you know that it's easy to lose friends if you talk like that? Yun Chujio handed over the spirit stones and finally began to eat happily. In the end, she licked the plate clean. This was exchanged for spirit stones. A mouthful of soup was worth dozens of spirit stones. After eating, Yun Chujio felt a little regretful. 2,000 spirit stones were gone just like that. Fortunately, the gigolo did not come often. Otherwise, she would have spent all her spirit stones. Black thing, I might not come again. Don't you want to buy more food to eat later? Oh right, I have a lot of spiritual fruits here. Some are sweet and some are soft. After eating them, not only can I satisfy my appetite, but I can also increase my spiritual power and my lifespan. Black thing, I also have some pastries here. I have golden silk rolls, honeybean cakes, silver thread cakes, and the like that you like to eat. After Di Baiming presented Yun Chujio with all the food, the spirit stones in her storage ring were almost all gone. In the end, she owed Di Baiming 10,000 low-grade spirit stones. Yun Chujio deeply understood one saying. Impulsiveness was the devil. Di Baiming looked at the freshly baked promissory note in his hand and the corners of his lips curled up. Black thing, let's see what you're going to show off this time and what you're going to use to hook up with a gigolo. Come here, help me massage my shoulder. Di Baiming sat comfortably on the chair. Yun Chujio dawdled and said unwillingly, My idol, my waist and legs are a little sore, and my arm is cramping. Give me a minute. Di Baiming glanced at her and said, 1 hour, 1,000 spirit stones. Yun Chujio's waist and legs were no longer sore, and her arm was no longer cramping. She began to massage Di Baiming's shoulder eagerly. Idol, is 1,000 spirit stones too low? Raise the price a little. Low? Forget it if you don't want to. Not low. It's not low. Yun Chujio felt that she was really miserable. Not only was her family fortune emptied, she was also in debt. How did she go from a rich woman to a poor woman in less than half a day? It was all because of the gigolo. If he did not seduce her with delicious food, would she have spent all the spiritual stones on impulse? She had to think of a way to earn the spirit stones back. An hour later, Yun Chujio said eagerly, Prince Charming, do you need to massage your legs? Do you need to massage your head? Do you need to wash your face? Do you need to make the bed? Do you need to take off your clothes? I offer a discount, and the service is very good. I guarantee that you'll be satisfied. Each item only costs 2,000 spirit stones. Only 2,000 spirit stones. You can choose any item you like, and it will cost you 2,000 spirit stones. You will not be at a loss for this 2,000 spirit stones. Chapter 240. Wailing Ghosts and Howling Wolves. Di Baiming's face stiffened. He had a strong premonition that not only would he lose the 10,000 spirit stones he was owed, he would also have to fork our more spirit stones. Sure enough, Yun Chujio had come up with all sorts of tricks and even came up with a way to sing. However, Di Baiming expressed that he really could not appreciate Yun Chujio's singing that sounded like wailing ghosts and howling wolves. He decisively gave a negative evaluation. Not only did he not give her 2,000 spirit stones, but he even deducted 1,000 as compensation for mental damage. Yun Chujio was so angry that she almost vomited blood. What a crafty idiot! She sang and danced continuously. Was it easy for her? Moreover, how good was her horse riding and dancing? How could the song sound like the wailing and howling like a ghost? All right, you deduct 1,000 spirit stones from me. I'll think of a way to cheat you of 2,000. Yun Chujio pretended to massage Di Baiming's leg for a while, then stretched out her little claws. 4,000 spirit stones. Thank you for your patronage. Di Baiming frowned. Isn't it 2,000? 2,000 for one leg, 4,000 for 2 legs. Yun Chujio bared her little white teeth, smiling very proudly. Di Baiming gritted his teeth. Very good, black thing. Just you wait. Let's remember this debt. Before going to bed, not only did Yun Chujio pay off her debt, she even earned 5,000 low-grade spirit stones. Yun Chujio pursed her lips happily. You want to play with me, gigolo? I'll play you to death. She thought about it again. This was not right. After a long time she figured it out. The spirit stones that the pretty boy had given her in the past had all been taken back. Damn it, the 5,000 spirit stones in her hand were originally hers, right? Such a sinister gigolo. The more Yun Chujio thought about it, the angrier she got. She pretended to close her eyes, stretched out her leg, and kicked Di Baiming's butt. Di Baiming did not expect Yun Chujio to do that. The poor Supreme Emperor was kicked off the bed. Although Di Baiming did not fall to the ground the moment he landed, it was enough to make the proud Supreme Emperor fly into a rage. Black thing, are you seeking death? Yun Chujio opened her eyes in a daze and looked at Di Baiming blankly. Prince Charming, why are you standing on the ground instead of sleeping on the bed? Why did you kick me? Di Baiming returned to the bed and asked while gritting his teeth. I dreamt that the red-robed pervert wanted to kill me, so I kicked him off the cliff. In actuality, I kicked you? I'm really sorry. Does it hurt? Let me help you massage it? Yun Chujio stretched out her claws and went straight for Di Baiming's buttocks. Di Baiming was shocked and quickly stopped her. Stop. The girl actually... How can you be like that? Yun Chujio pouted. Tisk. It's not a tiger's buttocks. Why can't I touch it? Don't bother, I'm going to sleep. Di Baiming wanted to scold her, but Yun Chujio had already turned around and fell asleep. Of course, Yun Chujio was pretending to be asleep. Gigolo, you still want to teach her a lesson? It scared him to death. However, the gigolo's figure was really good. It was a pity that with her small body, she could not do anything bad. Otherwise, she could steal the gigolo's genes and have a baby by herself in the future. Anyway, she did not plan to get married. Yes, she would give birth to a mini gigolo and scold him 8 times a day to get back the anger she had suffered from his father. No, that would be her biological son. She could not bear to do that. Yun Chujio danced with her thoughts and fell asleep soon after. The poor emperor looked at Yun Chujio's pink lips. At that moment, a thought kept flashing through his mind. Should he kiss her? Chapter 241. Was a good strike. Di Baiming remembered the slap he received after stealing a kiss. He felt a lingering fear and carefully bent down. Crack. Rumble. A purple lightning bolt fell from the sky and punched a big hole in the roof. Then one purple lightning bolt after another drilled into the hole and went straight for Yun Chujio, who was on the bed. Yun Chujio kicked Di Baiming off the bed. I'm about to advance. Stay away from me. Don't hurt yourself. The miserable emperor was kicked off the bed once again. He hated those purple lightning bolts to death in his heart. Why did you have to come when I was about to kiss the black thing? Damn it. That was the first time Di Baiming saw Yun Chujio absorb the power of lightning. He immediately felt that his worldview had been refreshed. Yun Chujio allowed the purple lightning to strike her body, but she still continued to provoke it. If you want to strike me, hurry up. I'm so sleepy. I'm still waiting to sleep. Did you guys not eat? You don't even have the strength to strike. By the way, what do you heavenly lightning usually eat? Oh right, I've always wanted to ask, what's the relationship between the purple lightning and the white one? Are you purple lightning bastards? The thick black cloud in the sky was so angry that it was about to burst into tears. It was too insulting to the lightning. It was too insulting to the clouds. You're the fucking bastard. They were a part of the righteous red lightning. Kill her. Kill this scourge. Kill this weirdo. Boom, boom, boom. The higher-ups of Spirit Radiance sect were all shocked. Although there would occasionally be a few purple lightning bolts, in the past half a year, the purple heavenly lightning bolts seemed to be descending a little more frequently. Just what was going on? This time, it seemed to be even denser than the previous ones. From the looks of it, it seemed to be heading toward the Middle Peak's kitchen. Master Xianyuan and the other peak masters suddenly thought of Yun Chujio. Although they felt that it was a little ridiculous, For some reason, they felt that these heavenly purple lightning bolts were somehow related to Yunchujio. However, even if these mighty figures had extremely high spiritual power, they were unwilling to get into the bad luck of involving themselves with the heavenly purple lightning bolts. Although they were curious, they were all prepared to go over and take a look after it had ended. Little Black flapped its short wings and flew in from the hole in the roof. "Master, you've almost absorbed it. Give me a few bolts of lightning." Yunchujio said with a smile, "These lightning likes to be scolded. If you scold them a little more, they will strike you." "Master, I'm the best at that. Watch carefully." Little Black held his waist with one wing and pointed at the sky with the other. "Hey! Little loaches, if you have the guts, come and strike me. I look down on those who fight in groups." "What the hell? You're ugly and purple. Look at how perfect my skin color is." The thick, black clouds was so angry that a storm started. "Boo-hoo! You're bullying the clouds too much. You're bullying the lightning too much. Where did these two weirdos come from? How can the heavens allow these two heaven-defying things to exist?" It wanted to report them. These two scourges must be eliminated. The thick, dark clouds felt that its confidence had been dealt a blow, so it began venting its anger on Yunchujio's house. "If I can't kill you two scourges, I'll destroy your nest." The poor Supreme Emperor was originally just watching the show, but who would have thought that the thick, dark clouds would change its target just because of a disagreement? One after another, heavenly purple lightning began to strike the house densely. Beiming dodged left and right in a sorry state. Fortunately, his spiritual power was superb, and he had a defensive spiritual artifact on him. Although he was in a sorry state, he was still not injured. Yunchujio watched from the side, feeling refreshed. "Good strike. Wonderful strike." The gigolo was screaming. Chapter 242 started flirting. The dark clouds struck Yunchujio's house, and then floated away while trembling. Why was it trembling? It was angry. "Yunchujio and that ugly bird, just you wait. Next time, I'll definitely hack you to death." Yunchujio saw Beiming's miserable appearance and laughed in her heart, but she did not dare to show it. She asked weakly, "Prince Charming, this house is no longer livable. I'm going to go to my fifth sister's place. What about you?" Beiming waved his sleeves, and his body immediately returned to normal. Even his hair became as dry as usual. Yunchujio was so jealous that she gritted her teeth. There really was no justice in the world. It was one thing for him to be good-looking, but he was also a nouveau riche. On top of that, his spiritual power was so high. It really made people envious and jealous. The commotion here has already attracted the attention of the mighty figures of Spirit Radiance sect. They'll be leaving now. The matter will be settled very soon. They'll come back to see you when the time comes. Remember, if you run into that idiot in red, you must stay away from him. Beiming noticed that there were people approaching from afar, so he quickly said his piece. "Okay, Prince Charming, don't worry. I'll definitely be obedient. You should leave quickly. Don't let anyone discover you." Yunchujio could not wait for Beiming to leave quickly. Beiming still wanted to say something, but those people were getting closer and closer. He could only hug Yunchujio, kiss her on the forehead, and then leave quickly. Yunchujio did not expect Beiming to flirt with her so suddenly. She was instantly petrified. "Fuck, aren't you ashamed? Gigolo, get back here. Did I agree to you kissing me? You big-tailed wolf. You actually took advantage of me. By the way, why is my heart beating so fast? Calm down. You have to be calm. Isn't it just a kiss on the forehead? What's the big deal? It wasn't a kiss on the mouth." When Master Shenyuan and the others arrived at Yunchujio's courtyard, they saw that the house was in such a sorry state that it looked like a beehive with many holes on it. Yunchujio stood there like a fool, and she even giggled shyly from time to time. "It's over. Yunchujio, this girl, has been struck dumb by lightning." Elder Chu stretched out his hand and waved it in front of Yunchujio a few times. Yunchujio seemed as though she did not see him and was still in a daze. Sigh. With such a dense amount of heavenly lightning, it's already a blessing to be able to survive. Peak Master Yu sighed. He did not expect that the originally lively Yun Chujio would actually be struck by lightning to such a state. How pitiful! Yun Chuzi and the others also ran over. When Yun Chu saw Yun Chujia's stunned look, she immediately cried, "Little Gio. Little Gio, what happened to you? Don't scare me." Yun Chujio actually knew about Master Xianyuan and the others a long time ago. However, in order not to expose the fact that she had absorbed the power of lightning, she simply pretended to be scared. Now that she realized that Yun Chu and the others were scared, she pretended to suddenly snap back to reality and then burst into tears. "Fifth sister. Sob sob, I'm scared to death. I was almost struck by lightning. I didn't do anything bad, so how could I be struck by lightning? Sob sob, I was really wronged." Yun Chu and the others quickly hugged Yun Chujio and comforted her. Yun Chujio sobbed and complained, "Sob sob, I was sleeping well when the roof was suddenly struck by lightning. Fortunately, I ran fast, or else I would have been turned into a roasted chicken." "Little girl, don't cry. You've escaped the lightning strikes over and over again, which means that you are a person with good fortune. As the saying goes, if you don't die in a great disaster, you'll definitely have good fortune in the future," Elder Chu babbled and comforted her. When Master Xianyuan heard Elder Chu's words, he could not help but feel uneasy. Yun Chujio had been struck by lightning over and over again. According to legends, besides the 5 elements root spirit, there was also a type of thunder root spirit. Since she was so favored by the heavenly lightning, could it be because of the legendary thunder root spirit? Chapter 243. Could it be the thunder root spirit? Yun Chujio, you'll stay in another dormitory for the night. Tomorrow, the servants will come to repair the house. In addition, come to the meeting hall tomorrow morning. Although Master Xianyuan had some guesses in his heart, his expression remained the same. Yun Chujio thought that Master Xianyuan wanted to give her some consolation money after seeing that she was frightened, so she immediately agreed. After Master Xianyuan and the others left, Yun Chujio went to stay with Yun Chu for the night. Since she misses Master Xuanyuan's consolation money, Yun Chujio woke up early the next morning and went to the meeting hall. Yun Chujio entered the meeting hall and saw that there were many elders besides Master Xianyuan and the 5 peak masters. She was puzzled. Why are there so many people? Is there a need to make such a big fuss for a consolation payment? After Yun Chujio paid her respects, she asked with a smile, "Master, do you think I was frightened last night and couldn't bear it, so you are prepared to give me some consolation payments?" Everyone was almost angered by Yun Chujio's words. How narcissistic was she? What did being struck by lightning have to do with the sect? They were even expected to give her consolation money? It was already really good that they did not make her pay to repair the house. Master Xianyuan coughed dryly. "Let's put the consolation money aside for now. I've called you here today because I suspect that you have a rare thunder root spirit and am preparing to test your root spirit again." Yun Chujio was shocked. Had she been discovered? That was probably not the case. However, this was also positive. She could find a catalyst and reveal a bit of what she could cultivate. At least she could use her storage bag and spirit beast bag openly. Yun Chujio pretended to be extremely excited. "Master Xianyuan, why you mean I can cultivate? Am not trash? This is my suspicion. Don't be too excited for now. You can celebrate happy after the test results are out." Master Xianyuan was worried that Yun Chujio would not be able to bear the blow when the test results were out. "Then let's test it. Hurry up, I already said that I won't be useless. I'm the personal disciple chosen by Patriarch Linghua. How can I be useless?" Sigh, it really fulfills the old saying that the heavens will bestow a great responsibility on a man. He must first work hard on his will and work hard on his bones. Yun Chujio began to gloat with her small hands behind her back. Master Xianyuan rubbed his forehead. If the test results really showed the thunder root spirit, would this not mean Yun Chujio could gloat to the heavens? Usually, the test for a root spirit was done with a type of spiritual pillar. After a person placed their palm on it, they would judge the root spirit's attribute and talent level by its color and the level of the spirit cell. However, This type of spiritual pillar could not detect the thunder root spirit. Master Xinyuan took out a transparent ball from his storage ring and placed it on the table. Yun Chujio, place your palm on it. If you have the thunder root spirit, there'll be silver sparks inside, Master Xinyuan said to Yun Chujio. Yun Chujio curiously placed her palm on it. There was no reaction from the spirit energy ball. The crowd began to discuss animatedly. Elder Shao said, Master, this thunder root spirit is extremely rare. I think Yun Chujio must been happy for nothing. Elder Shao's words make sense. The last thunder root spirit in Qingxian continent was 100 years ago. It's extremely rare and not that easy to come across. An elder echoed. That's right, this thunder root spirit isn't like cabbages. We can't conclude that Yun Chujio has it just because she was almost struck by lightning a few times. There are many people who have been struck by lightning. Before this elder could finish his words, the spiritual energy ball started to change. The tranquility in the spiritual energy ball was broken. It was filled with small purple lightning bolts, crackling non-stop. Chapter 244. Born to be useful, Master Xinyuan and the others were dumbfounded. What was going on? If it was the thunder root spirit, it would normally be a silver spark. Why did Yun Chujio have a purple lightning bolts? Yun Chujio was entranced by it and giggled. This thing is quite fun. Master Xinyuan, please give this ball to me. It can be used as a candle at night to save money. Master Xinyuan coughed dryly. This is the sect's most important treasure. How can I just give it to you? Master Xinyuan quickly put away the test ball in consideration of Yun Chujio's bad habit of taking things. Master Xinyuan, am I really a thunder root spirit? Yun Chujio curled her lips. How stingy of him. This, Master Xinyuan could not figure it out. If he said yes, Yun Chujio's situation seemed to be different from other people's. Even if he said no, the test ball obviously had a reaction. Elder Chu reacted the quickest. He said, Yun Chujio, sit cross-legged and see if you can absorb the purple lightning element. Yun Chujio thought, of course I can. Your little ancestor Yun has a sea of purple elements in my dantian. If I told you about it, you'll be scared to death. Yun Chujio pretended to sit cross-legged. After a while, she pretended to be surprised and said, the purple elements has actually entered my body. Does this mean I can cultivate in the future? Master Xinyuan nodded. Since she could absorb thunder elements, it meant that Yun Chujio was indeed a thunder root spirit. As for why she was different from others, he could only slowly investigate. That's great. I told you that I was born to be useful. It turns out I have a rare thunder root spirit. My master has a sharp eye. Otherwise, why would he take me as his disciple? Sect master, he'll definitely take care of Spirit Radiance sect in the future. I will hack whoever comes to cause trouble for us to death. Come one person, hack one person. Come a pair, hack a pair. Let's see who dares to bully our Spirit Radiance sect. Yun Chujio straightened her small body and began to talk incessantly, showing off. At the beginning, everyone was happy for her. After hearing the end, the corners of their mouths twitched. They really could not bear to listen anymore. This Yun Chujio was shining really brightly just because she had a little ray of sunlight on her. She was too cocky. Even if she has the thunder root spirit, it's hard for her to have any achievements. After all, Spirit Radiance sect isn't located in an area with frequent lightning strikes, and there are too few lightning elements. This path of leveling up is even more difficult. Elder Shao was the first to pour cold water on Yun Chujio. That's right. Our sect had a few thunder root spirits in the past. Although the methods of this lightning strike were indeed amazing, they all became ordinary in the end. They couldn't even reach the level of a spirit emperor. That's right. This thunder root spirit is famous, but in reality, it's not as good as other root spirits paired with good talent. Yun Chujio secretly curled her lips. Bitch, you're talking about an ordinary person. She had the strange grass in her dantian. With this divine weapon, it would be too easy for her to level up, right? Master Xinyuan, do you have any thunder root spirit cultivation techniques? Give me a few copies. Yun Chujio said with a grin. Master Xinyuan glared at her. Thunder Root Spirit cultivation technique is very rare. Our Spirit Radiance sect only has one copy of the Heavenly Thunder technique. It's stored on the 7th floor of the library. Why don't you make a copy of it? Yun Chujio thought to herself, Heavenly Thunder technique? The name sounded very corny. It was definitely not as good as the cultivation technique that the gigolo gave her. However, it was not bad to use as a cover. Yun Chujio, you can leave now. Go back and cultivate properly. We still have things to discuss. Master Xinyuan saw that Yun Chujio did not have anything else to say, so he waved his hand, indicating that she could leave. Yun Chujio rolled her eyes and said pitifully, Master Xinyuan, where is the compensation? Chapter 245. Heavenly Thunder Root Spirit. Everyone had fully understood one sentence from Yun Chujio, that she was more shameless than the most shameless person. Who agreed with you? Who agreed to give you the consolation money? Did you not feel guilty saying that yourself? Master Zuanyuan's face darkened slightly. Yun Chujio, when did I agree to give you the consolation money? Yun Chujio said with a twitch, didn't you say to put aside the matter of the consolation money for now? Didn't you mean to put it aside for later? Did I misunderstand? Forget it. If you don't want to give it, then so be it. Anyway, you have a bigger say in this than I do, so I couldn't possibly argue. Master, you've ascended and are enjoying your life, leaving me, your poor disciple, alone. How pitiful! Not only was I struck by lightning, I'm so poor that I can't even afford to buy a bed. Master Xinyuan was so angry that his face contorted. This Yun Chujio. What a little scoundrel. How was she crying for her master? She was clearly using Patriarch Linghua to pressure me. The corners of the other people's eyes twitched. In another 2 months or so, it would be time for the new disciple trial. If this person really managed to get into the top 10, would she not be courting death? Master Xinyuan rubbed his forehead. Don't cry. Get someone to follow you to the storeroom and collect 1,000 low-grade spirit stones. It'll be considered as the sect's consolation money. Yun Chujio was still sobbing when the downpour suddenly turned cleared. She said with a smile, Master Xinyuan is too kind. Since you're so generous, then I'll thicken my skin and accept it. I'm really sorry. Everyone was so angry that they snorted. How could you be embarrassed? We've lived for hundreds of years, and this is the first time we've seen such a shameless person. Yun Chujio said goodbye to everyone with a smile. Then, she hopped and went to collect the spirit stones with the elder who was in charge of the treasury. After Yun Chujio left, Master Xinyuan asked in a deep voice, Everyone, what do you think about Yun Chujio's Purple Thunder Root Spirit? Master, I've read about it in a book that has been passed down since ancient times. Although it isn't directed at the Thunder Root Spirit, I think the idea behind it might be the same. The one who spoke was Elder Duanmu, who was in charge of the library. Master Xinyuan and everyone immediately turned their gazes to Elder Duanmu. What records? It's recorded that in addition to the 5 types of root spirits, there are 3 other types in the world. Namely, wind, thunder, and ice. Each type of root spirit's talent is divided into 1 to 10 stars. If the talent is more than 10 stars, then it will appear in a completely different state. The records refer to these root spirits with innate talent above 10 stars as heavenly root spirits. Not only does the heavenly root spirit cultivate at an astonishing speed, but it often has other hidden talents, such as alchemy, talisman making, array formation, and so on. Everyone was stunned by Elder Duanmu's words. After a long while, an elder exclaimed, Could it be that Yun Chujio has the heavenly root spirit? Elder Duanmu nodded and then shook his head. This heavenly root spirit is only a legendary existence. I'm only telling you what I know for everyone's reference. As for whether Yun Chujio has the heavenly lightning root spirit or not, I can't say for sure. Elder Chu said excitedly, It must be. Otherwise, why would Patriarch Linghua choose this little girl as his disciple? The rolling pin was not attracted to anyone else. Why did it choose Yun Chujio? Sect Master, Spirit Radiance sect has picked up a treasure this time. Master Xinyuan and the others were also extremely excited, But Elder Duanmu sighed. Everyone, don't be happy too early. Although the heavenly root spirit has all sorts of benefits, it's because it's too outstanding. The heavens doesn't allow such a heaven-defying person to exist. This is also the reason why the heavenly root spirits has not appeared in the past tens of thousands of years. I surmise that the dense purple heavenly lightning that descended upon our sect was probably to kill Yun Chujio. Chapter 246, Supergrade Spirit Gathering Pill. Everyone thought of Yun Chujio's room that had been struck by the heavenly lightning. It was too terrifying to be targeted by it. Could the person that the heavens wanted to kill still live? The answer was obvious. Yun Chujio had been targeted by so many heavenly lightning before she could even cultivate. If she could cultivate, would she not be turned into ashes very soon? Master Xinyuan frowned. Yun Chujio didn't show any other talent. Maybe Yun Chujio doesn't have the heavenly lightning root spirit, but just an ordinary lightning root spirit. Elder Chi sighed and said, Master, Yun Chujio has other talents. She has a photographic memory. Elder Chu added, and she speaks eloquently. Didn't she fool those mighty elephants a few days ago? How could an ordinary person do that? Elder Xiao frowned. Yun Chujio is good at taking advantage of opportunities. Her victory over Su Yenran a few days ago is a typical example. I wonder if being sinister and cunning is considered talent. Master Xinyuan silently added in his heart, this fellow is also extremely greedy and has cheated me of many things. Although what everyone is saying can be considered talent, it isn't too heaven-defying. Why don't we observe first? If she really has the heavenly root spirit, we will tell her the whole story and let her decide whether to continue cultivating or not. Everyone, the matter of a heavenly root spirit is truly inconceivable. Everyone, please keep it a secret. Master Xinyuan said after thinking for a moment. Everyone did not have any other good ideas to handle it, so they nodded their heads in agreement. Yun Chujio did not know that she had already become the focus of attention. She took the spirit stones and ran to Elder Chi's spirit herb garden, continuing to collecting herbs. She was already at the 5th level of the spirit cultivator realm. She was prepared to get more goods so that she could go to the alchemy room to refine spirit gathering pills. Yun Chujio borrowed a lot of spirit herbs from the outer area and extended her evil hand to the high-level spirit herb garden. Yun Chujio carefully took a few leaves and then stopped. Elder Chi was keeping a close watch on the spirit herbs there. It would be bad if she was discovered. The dormitory was still under construction, so she just happened to go to the alchemy room to stay for the night. Therefore, Yun Chujio went straight to the alchemy room with a big sack on her back. Manager Gao's head hurt a little when he saw Yun Chujio's appearance. Yun Chujio, why didn't you go to Elder Chi's place to help? Why did you come here instead? Manager Gao, I haven't refined pills for a long time, so my hands are a little itchy. Hurry up and give me an alchemy room. They'll finish this quickly and try to get out tomorrow morning. This time, I definitely won't release any poisonous smoke. Yun Chujio said with a smile. Manager Gao braced himself and gave Yun Chujio the jade token for room number 28. Yun Chujio happily took the jade token and rushed to the room. Did you hear? Yun Chujio came to refine pills again. What? Do you know when she will leave? I'll stay far away when that time comes. The poisonous smoke last time made my throat hurt for several days. Manager Gao said that shall be done by tomorrow morning. At that time, well, just avoid her. You're right. I have to hurry up with my work. I will not stay in this damn place tomorrow morning no matter what. Yun Chujio entered alchemy room number 28. After opening the isolation array, she began to refine pills crazily. The first batch was successfully completed. Not only was there a 100% success rate, but they were all supergrade pills with pill patterns. After the strange grass in her danton smelled the fragrance, it immediately began to complain about its hunger. Therefore, Yun Chujio swallowed a lot of spirit-gathering pills while refining pills. By midnight, Yun Chujio had already turned a few sacks of herbs into a supergrade spirit-gathering pills. Chapter 247. Am I that shameless? After a short nap, Yun Chujio got up and filled the alchemy furnace with a bunch of miscellaneous things again. This time, she was merciful and did not put any chili powder in. After the burnt smell was produced, she carried a sack of shredded cabbage out of the alchemy room. Why is there no one here? Where did all the people go? Yun Chujio shook her head inexplicably and ran out of the alchemy room with a big sack on her back. Manager Gao saw that Yun Chujio had gone far away and shouted loudly, "Cough! Come out! The smoke this time isn't too bad." Hearing Manager Gao, the doors of the alchemy room opened one after another. Everyone lifted their noses and took a sniff. Sure enough, it was much better than the previous 2 times. It seemed that this Yun Chujio had improved. It had to be said that the efficiency at Spirit Radiance sect was not bad. When Yun Chujio returned to her dormitory, she saw that the house had already been repaired. That night, Yun Chujio mysteriously called Yun Chuzi and the others to her courtyard. "Little Jio, do you want to roast meat?" Yun Chulu said casually. "Roasted meat is a must. After eating the roast meat, I have something good for you," Yun Chujio said with a smile. Yun Chuzi and the others were very curious. However, Yun Chujio kept them in suspense and did not say anything. It was not easy for them to finish the barbecued meat, so Yun Chujio went back to the house having said that she wanted to get something. "What's that smell? It smells like medicine." Yun Chuba sniffed curiously. "Yeah, it smells so good. What did little Jio hide in the house?" Yun Chuki echoed. "It smells like a spirit-gathering pill, but smells more potent than that." "What exactly is it?" Ching Si asked in confusion. Not long after, Yun Chujio came out with a basin. "Lala, the good stuff is here. Everyone, please take a look." Yun Chujio put the basin on the stone table with a bang. Yun Chuzi and the others could not wait to surround her. Then they were all dumbfounded. After a long while, Yun Chu said anxiously, "Little Jio, where did you get these pills? Did you steal them from Elder Chi? Quickly return them. There are so many pills. If they are discovered, Elder Chi will not forgive you." "That's right, little Jio. Before anyone finds out, quickly return them," Yun Chuzi advised from the side. Yun Chujio pursed her lips. "I really didn't steal it. Am I such a shameless person?" Everyone silently said in their hearts, "You are. You definitely are." Yun Chujio saw that everyone was extremely worried, so she could only find an excuse. "Do you see the patterns on the medicinal pills? These medicinal pills were all wasted spirit-gathering pills refined by Elder Chi. It would be a pity to throw them away, so I asked for them. I've double-checked. Although these pills aren't the best, 2 of them can still match the effect of one." Yun Chuzi and the others did not know that transcendent-grade pills existed at all. Seeing that there were indeed patterns on them, they believed her. Yun Chu even said, "Little Jio, you really didn't just take them?" "Tisk, fifth sister, how could I be so bold? Don't worry, these pills were obtained in a normal manner. However, Elder Chi didn't allow me to tell others. He was afraid that they would say that he was unjust, so you guys have to keep it a secret," Yun Chujio said seriously. Yun Chuzi and the others nodded one after another. Only Ching Si thought about it thoroughly. "Pills with patterns? Why do I feel like I've heard my mother mention this before? Why can't I remember what it is?" "Come, fourth brother, take this basin of spirit-gathering pills and distribute it to everyone every day. Just eat 2 before cultivating. Don't eat too many." Yun Chujio handed the basin to Yun Chuzi. "You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.